can turn around. He's only one defeat to his name. Sorry, two defeats to his name, one victory, I should say. So were he to lose this, he'd have it all to do tomorrow, but we know he's extricated himself from many a tricky position down the years. It's an interesting clash, this. Obviously, you've got the measured, all-round player, John Higgins, against Jack Lisowski, who's very, very attacking and very, very dangerous, as we've seen already today. He had a 1-4-2 earlier. Well, that was pretty attacking, though.
Yeah, John's played some pretty good stuff in patches. He's just missed a couple of easier shots when he's looked like he was going to go on and win. But he won't give up. He'll still believe he can go on and win this thing.
Well, that's exactly what you were saying, Peter. You know, he's plotted a good initial red, and then, you know, you'd expect him to get that one.
Yeah, it just looks like a lack of confidence to me.
Touching more.
I suppose it happens to everyone at some point. You just got to try and play your way through it. And that's the most negative safety shot Jack's ever played. Just rolling it into the reds.
These two played at the World Championship last year, the quarterfinals. Higgins won 13-12. So denied Lisowski's first appearance in the semi-finals there on the one-table setup. And Higgins actually said, because of course he lost 5 finals last season, some of them really close, but he actually said the real disappointment was the semi-final with Ronnie O'Sullivan, where he felt he just did not perform at all. One stage, banged his cue on the Crucible floor. Of course, that was the last event of the season, so there was time in the summer to sort of dwell on it. But remember, John Higgins this season has not been past the last 16 of a ranking event, which for him, you know, is very unusual.
Tough call, isn't it? You know, it's such a fine line between success and failure. Do you try and alter some stuff to try and get yourself in that winner's circle and risk going backwards, or I suppose you've got to do, really, if you want to be a winner, you've got to find out why you're not winning.
Well,
does do far too much tinkering with cues and stuff, does John, I think, these days. Let's hope he can just find a cue, stick to it and give it a proper go. Because he's a fantastic player to watch. Does everything right when he's on song. His approach, his shot selection, everything, he's so good.
5.
Any young players out there watching, you wouldn't go far wrong watching John Higgins.
Six.
Yeah, he's a fine tactician of the game, but he's also a very heavy scorer. 2 years ago won the Players' Championship for the loss of only 4 frames, just destroying everybody. But of course those points have just come off, and that's why he's gone down to number 11 in the world, which is his lowest position for some time. And when I say some time, I'm talking really decades.
8.
Yeah, his previous shot routine is so good as well, doesn't get flustered. Gets down to the shot the same every time.
9.
That's nice. Just played into that area so
60.
he could drop this red in. Back for the black. He's landed so nice he can possibly take the red in the middle and the pink first to open up the whole area up.
$70.
Yeah, stayed down a little bit longer than he wanted to there. I think he thought he might have missed it.
$23. 24.
Yeah, the thing is, of course, John Higgins has nothing to prove with the record he has in the game, but equally, he doesn't want to just make up the numbers. He still feels that he should be competing at the very top level, and you know, he was in those 5 finals last season. Of course, he did win this event,
30.
got him in the Champion of Champions, but there were some near misses that really disappointed him. And also, he's always had this sort of 3-way rivalry with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams, his great contemporaries. He's seen Ronnie win the World Championship again. He's seen Mark Williams in the Masters final. These are the occasions he wants to be part of still.
$39.
Yeah, and there's no reason why not.
$40. $47.
Well, he missed that red earlier in the frame, but got a second chance. This has been good stuff since then.
48.
Looking to end the day on a high. If he can win this match, 2 points. Probably would need 1 more to qualify for the playoffs. 2 to be guaranteed. 1 might be enough. Tomorrow he's got Judd Trump and Zhao Guodong to play.
55.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few players on 3 points though, going into the final matches. I think it's going to be very
56.
close. I've got a feeling someone might even miss out on 3 points.
Yeah, there's every chance because no one's dominating the group. Anyway, this black to lead by 69 with 67 on. So it looks like 1-0 Higgins.
63. $64. 71.
So far today we've had 7 centuries. John Higgins has made 2 of them.
72.
Yeah, gonna need a good shot if he's to make a third. Those 2 reds. And the side cushion need disturbing somehow.
79. 80.
Yeah, and that's the perfect angle. Just give him a little nudge.
$86. 87.
Yeah, he's not going to give up this title without a fight, that's for certain.
No, he's been very good, and I like the way he's just got on with it as well. Probably an area of his game he doesn't get enough credit for, the scoring. You know, people talk about him for his
94.
master of tactics and all the rest of it, safety play, and that's all true, but he's second on the all-time list of centuries behind Ronnie O'Sullivan. And if he makes one here, 924, it's plenty, isn't it?
Cheers, John. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well,
95.
he just needs this black to make another one, and as I say, can forget about the earlier miss. Didn't really matter in the scheme of things. The Wizard of Wishaw with another terrific century break. The cue ball has run on and on, but he couldn't threaten
102.
Lisowski's high break, and he can't be bothered
On the
to
first
continue
frame.
either. 102,
John Higgins.
short and sweet. John Higgins leads 1-0. The break. John Higgins' 3rd century of the day. Leads Jack Lisowski 1-0. Jack stays on to play Judd Trump in
The second break.
what should be a
John
very
Higgins to
entertaining
break.
last match of the day here. It's 1 each. Well, in fact, it's 2-1 now. Kyron Wilson over Stuart Bingham. Kyron looks like he's going to make a century himself on table 2. And then the last match there will be Neil Robertson against Zhao Gudong. We expected a high standard, of course. It is the winners group anyway, but the fact is the lineup is star names wherever you care to look. Winners of big titles, including the World Championship. 4 world champions out of the 7 players. Kyron Wilson's break 112 on table 2 to lead Stuart Bingham 2-1.
That's one of the aspects Jack has got to sharpen up on. That's a routine safety shot for a player of Jack's quality. You know, to not find the ball cushion. It's not good enough, I'm afraid. You can see the disappointment in Higgins' face. He knows you can't afford to leave these players on the balk line. 9 times out of 10 they're going to pot something. Now can he pot one and get on the colour? I expect him to knock this in. But will he get on the colour?
What?
Yeah, the pot was almost a given. And he'll take that kiss. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. You can't leave these players, any of these 7 players that are playing today, their hand on the table in balk. You expect to be punished.
Well, he made a lovely 1-4-2 in an earlier
6.
match. That's the target for the £1,000 high break prize in this group.
Jack had a professional maximum.
Yeah, he made one in the UK Championship a decade ago.
7.
Yeah, that
Lisowski's
there, to me, is a classic example of why Jack hasn't won a trophy yet. That his previous red was so basic that he didn't really concentrate hard enough on it. He let the white run away slightly and then left his bridge super awkward in between the other balls for no reason whatsoever, and then missed the black. And the black wasn't even the problem, the previous red was the problem. Look where his hand is now. Really awkward in between those. No reason for it to be there. I mean, he's such a good potter, you still expect him to make those shots, but just make the game so much easier for yourself by paying a little bit more attention to detail.
Six.
You know, you can't, the game's hard enough, you can't afford to gift chances to your opponent.
Yeah, especially when your opponent is John Higgins, who's just made a century.
7.
Yeah, I'd be really interested, David, to get Ebden's view. Is he still working with Ebden?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what sort of the stuff they work on together, and what Peter thinks is the reason Jack's not winning anything. Not that he's not doing well, I'm not saying he's doing badly, but you know, this game's all about silverware, isn't it? The money and everything takes care of itself. It's all about trying to win trophies and win as many trophies as you possibly can.
Well, whenever we see Ebden at a tournament in the crowd, he's writing copious notes on his notepad. So he's writing something down. He hasn't shared them, no reason to with anyone else, but he's clearly monitoring what's going on pretty closely.
20.
Such a nice lad as well, Jack Lisowski. Like I sometimes get the impression that he's too nice for his own good. So sort of carefree, but just too nice.
21.
Well, the key, I mean, a lot of the players are nice guys, but the key is to leave that in the players' room. And when you get out there, it's got to be, you know, all about trying to get the W.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, John Higgins, you know, he's a lovely bloke, but when he gets out there, it's all business, quite rightly.
28.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Phil. David, that's a great point. He doesn't have to change as a person, but he's got to just get ruthless when he's out there in the arena. Now, has he got an angle on this black, John? Stunned the angle out. Yeah, it's come a little bit awkward.
36.
This is a bit missable. Yeah, struck it well though, struck it nicely. Played one of those in the last frame against Neil Robertson in the last match, should I say, and probably would have won him the match, but missed it down that same cushion. This black isn't easy neither, digging down.
He just got that look in his eye though, John Higgins, which you've seen many times before. When he's on top, you know, there's no relenting. Seen Lisowski make a couple of errors. He's determined to put right what happened against Robertson, get his second point of the day here. Because he started off, he lost the first 5 frames he played today, so things were looking pretty bleak. Lost 3-0 to Karen Wilson, was 2-0 down to Stuart Bingham, but of course turned that round to get the win.
45.
Yeah, and all these great champions like John Higgins, they sense moments, don't they? They sense a slight bit of weakness, and they know how important it is to punish your opponent, to leave him sat in his seat dwelling on that mistake he's just made. Now, is it going to get up there?
50.
He's getting down pretty quickly. That's always a sign that he's nicely on it. Oh, it turns out it wasn't. He's hit the wrong ball first.
John Higgins 50.
And he's been very fortunate. He's just caught the other red first. Now, does the red pass the black? If it does, it's a chance.
What?
Yeah, and it definitely does. Wow, what a lifeline.
Yeah, and this is the sort of situation hundreds of times we've seen John Higgins clear up from, sort of 40, 50 behind. Can Lisowski give him a taste of his own medicine?
Yeah, he's got to try and somehow move that red away from the pink whilst he's still got other reds as options, I think. It's a free shot to move it, then it can't go wrong. Again, now just got to mind his work.
No.
Now, yeah, this is the perfect opportunity. Just a little delicate cannon on that red and pink, just to open the game up. Yeah, perfect. Now just one slightly awkward red. I think we're away
60.
from one each. Again, he might be just trying to
70.
move this red off the cushion. Now, knowing he's got the red over the left-hand corner pocket anyway, if he's got the angle on the pink. Yeah, there you go. And that should be 1-all.
Yeah, now
23.
it's about really focusing. He's done the hard work, you feel. He's got everything into play, developed them. So now, just give every shot 100%, put the frame away.
Yeah, now, so Jack, I think he's got to find some sort of routine where he can concentrate on giving it 100% without giving it 100, without making a meal of it, let's say, and without thinking you're giving it 100%. Don't do anything silly, but still keep that natural rhythm that he's got.
That was the shot that let him in. Looked at first like Higgins might have got away with it, but did leave a red to right
23.
corner.
24. $31. 32.
Yeah, probably pop this and go down the table. Make the clearance easier. Any colour, blue, yellow, green.
38.
Just get yourself in closer order.
39.
Yeah, perfect.
Karen Wilson has won 3-1 against Stuart Bingham.
40.
So Karen Wilson has won both versions of the Championship League, the ranking and invitational. Looking good already. That's his second win today.
46. $49.
Yeah, Higgins watching on. He's done this to so many himself, of course.
53.
Yeah, let's go back to that last green though there, Dave. I mean, he's plays the green. All he's got to do is make sure he finishes slightly low on the brown and the clearance is an absolute formality.
58.
And he leaves it awkward. And yeah, he still pots them, but they're the sort of chances that can soon go awry, especially under pressure, when you want something so badly. And it was just...
64.
He just needed a little bit more
Lisowski.
care and attention.
Well, he's made the clearance. 64. Jack Lisowski levels up at 1 each. Champion of Champions is coming back in November, the 13th to the 19th in Bolton, and tickets will go on sale from March the 13th. So check out championofchampionsnooker.co.uk, championofchampionsnooker.co.uk for ticket details. Ronnie O'Sullivan beat Judd Trump in the final this season, so Ronnie is confirmed for next year. Trump is in through winning the Masters. Mark Allen keeps winning tournaments to get in, of course. But Trump, interestingly, the only player in the winners group here who's already in it. So if someone else wins the Championship League, they will also take their place in what is a very prestigious tournament. It's all going to unfold in Bolton this coming November. John Higgins is a former winner, but right now he's looking to, of course, get in next season's event. Jack Lisowski would love to play in it as well. One each here. Just confirmed Karen Wilson won. He had 2 centuries there, 3-1 over Stuart Bingham. The last match of the day, Neil Robertson against Xiao Guodong, will start in due course.
One.
Yeah, good pot. Can you see the brown?
Brown ball.
Yeah, brilliant.
Five. Six.
John Higgins has won the Championship League 3 times. You would think maybe the short nature of the matches wouldn't suit him, but well, it did in 2017, in 2018, and again last year.
$13.
Yeah, probably because he seems to just play the right shot all the time.
40.
And if you're executing them well, then you're going to be very hard to beat.
Yes, and no one ever goes into a match with John Higgins thinking, "Oh, this is a great draw." You know, it just isn't, is it? Because even if he's struggling for form, as you say, you know he knows what the right shot is, and at any moment things can
22.
click into gear. It's a very positive shot he played from Brown to get the Reds open, just putting aside what happened in the last frame.
$29. $30.
he play? Loose red or open a few up? Yeah, just dropped it in for the loose one first. Maybe the red at the bottom right of the pack will also pot, so
Yeah, sure.
might
37.
not have to go into them, but they do look a nice pack to go into.
Cheers, John. Thanks.
Yeah, well, it's to be hoped the red at the bottom of the pack goes, because
38.
looks like he's come a little bit straight on the black, so may decide to try and leave it low to open a few more balls up as well when potting this next red. Yeah, this is a shot Judd Trump's very good at, plays us a lot. Opens a few up and
45.
stuns straight down or screw off the side cushion and back out for the blue.
$46.
Yeah, he's just overdone it. Now decision time. I often think that this shot is the green, let's say, is a lot easier if you fully commit to it and go 2 cushions and into the reds. Seem to be able to deliver the cue better. Let's see what Higgins thinks. Yeah, he's just gone the delicate route. He's played it quite well though.
49.
Now can he go through the gap for the black in the opposite corner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just noticed something on the cue ball, just to say on Karen Wilson, 112, 101 were the closing 2 breaks from him in that 3-1 win over Stuart Bingham. And they're just starting now, Robertson and Zhao Guodong.
Yeah, an important game for Guodong if he wants to stay in touch. It's hard to see him having much hope tomorrow if he loses all 3 today.
50.
He's actually not played that bad today neither, but the standard's so high that his mistakes have just been punished. I mean, he looked at one point if he was going 2-0 up on Judd and looking good, and then an hour later he'd lost 3-1.
57. $58.
Then one good shot. Doesn't want to catch the left of the pink. The white will end up down in the left-hand black pocket, so slightly to the right. That's the one. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, so
63.
just put to one side the clearance that Lisowski made in the last frame, and has played a brilliant frame here, John Higgins.
Yeah, and I don't want to feel like sort of having a go at Jack Lisowski too much, because I'm an absolutely massive fan. In fact, it was my tip to win this
64.
tournament. You know, I think, like most people, we think he's going to make that breakthrough, but his safety shot at the start of this frame, it was a routine safety shot, the cross double back to ball. There's no way made he should have been leaving the red anywhere near the pocket, even though it was a terrific pot by Higgins and a fantastic
71.
brown to follow. He should not be getting that chance from that position.
Well, it's been costly. He needs snookers now.
$72.
Can John Higgins make his 4th century of the day?
But for, again, any professional out there or any young player starting out there, I mean, the way Higgins lost that last frame, it's like it never happened. He's just bounced straight back.
Well, that's experience, I guess.
79.
And it's good to see because, as I say, his form in general hasn't been that good. Maybe his confidence isn't that high, but you wouldn't know it from this break.
80.
Yeah, for the most part, Higgins, he's looking really good. Scoring really heavy, playing a lot of nice shots. It's just a couple of key moments where it's like he's
87.
just losing a little bit of confidence.
Well, he can't beat Lisowski's high break, but even so, another century
88.
would cheer him up after that last frame, and he's never really been in any trouble in this break.
$95. Thank you. Cheers. 96.
One thing we've learnt about John Higgins, regardless of the vagaries in form, you never write him off. And this is why, because this is what he's capable of still doing. Second century in the match, a fourth today in winners group for Higgins.
103.
And he's a frame away from collecting his second point from the group.
104.
Yeah, one red sticking out, one slightly poor safety shot on. Absolutely flawless. 137
112.
probably.
$150. $190.
Yeah, flawless is the word, I think. This has been excellent.
$124.
Lisowski will have to find a response, otherwise Higgins will take his second point of the day.
Cheers. 130.
Magnificent effort this. Black for a total clearance of 137. Well, just a lovely
137.
break, wasn't it? John Higgins goes back in front in style, shrugging off the way he lost the last frame. He leads now 2-1. It's 2-1 to John Higgins. He's made 2 centuries. Either side of them, Jack Lisowski made a good clearance to win the second frame.
The
but
fourth
Higgins
frame. John Higgins to break.
one away from collecting his second point from 4 matches in what is a very tight winners group here at the Championship League. All concludes tomorrow evening when we have our final 4, and the winner will pick up a cheque for £10,000 plus all the money they've earned along the way and a place in the coveted Champion of Champions in November.
And Jack, not this long red in. I think the black does pot if you wanted to play on it. be too bad at first glance. Couple of pots on, but both awkward. The red below the pink and the red below the brown. Neither of them easy. You can possibly play the one below the pink as a shot to nothing and play. Or 2 cushions maybe for the black.
One.
In fact, he's played it with confidence and come back out. He's been a little bit unfortunate. I think he's still got the blue into the corner. But could have been a lot easier. Struck it well, didn't overhit it, just fully committed to the shot.
6. Seven.
And off we go again. Reds are fairly open, but there's no guaranteed positions anywhere.
Meanwhile, on table 2, Zhao Guodong
68.
has made a winning break of 68 and counting to win the opening frame against Neil Robertson. Zhao played 2, lost 2 so far, so needs something out of that really.
69. Eleven. Twelve.
And pot the pink and knock the red away, possibly land on the bottom one out of them 2 or the one he's knocking out of the way. Could be in business here. Yeah, that was a very clever shot to play for the pink after the previous red.
80.
We're 1 or 2 good shots away from making this a proper chance.
90.
Again, that's a very classy shot.
Well, he seems to be queuing very nicely. He's made 4 centuries altogether. There have at other times today been just the odd mistake when you least expect it. And in a short match against top quality opposition, you can't afford those unforced errors. But in situations like this, he's been excellent.
Now can he just hold? Oh, lovely little soft screw shot.
24. 25.
Just overrun that a fraction. That's why he's taking the brown. I think brown is the shot, playing the red just at the bottom of the triangle of reds below the pink. Probably 2 cushions. That's the wind, and just run it down the table. There's a little bit of
29.
work to do though down here. I think the black pots. I'm not sure about those two reds above the black.
$30.
Yeah, John just looking if he could get the white back to where it is right now. He overdone it. Surely he's overdone that, I think.
$36.
Yeah, he has. Tough shot or it's end of break.
$37.
Tough shot made to look very easy.
Oh, he's pulling out some terrific shots to keep this break going.
Now went too far last time. Has he come far enough this time?
42.
Well, the red sort of
42.
surrendered in the end. And he's happy with the result. You know that because he's held his hand up.
Yeah, he's held his hand up there, but I'm not sure how sorry he was.
Well, that's always the question, isn't it? You know, I mean, not very is the answer. It's more an acknowledgement, really, than an apology.
Yeah, Kim nicely on the pink. Knocks a red out. He's going to have to play one more cannon, though, to win the frame. Because nothing will pop
49.
after this. Options. The black's in a nice position. If he could land slightly high up on it, could just play off the cushion and into the reds, but not sure of the angle he's got here.
$50.
He's had to pull up if he's playing the pink. Now, can he pop the pink in the middle and just nudge the bottom right-hand red out of the triangle? It's like the only one, but doesn't want it to go too close to the black. Yeah, and I think it has it gone. Does it still pot? I'm not sure.
56.
Well, it's Lisowski's last hope, this. The cue ball coming back to the jaws of this pocket.
Yeah, John just over here slightly. Now, does it pop? And can he get down onto the yellow or brown? It does pop, but doesn't really want to move the green neither. Yeah, if this wasn't match point, I think he'd have already been down and playing this. Just commit to it like he did the other shots. Yeah, and forget about the
57.
green. The green's irrelevant as long as you pot the ball.
And the cue ball has come all the way back for this black. He needs another red after the black, assuming he pots it, and then that's match over. Oh, one more red, unless that's a plant. You're not over the line yet.
64.
Well, it might be, you know.
Well, yeah, I think if the other red wasn't in the way, it's a certainty, but doesn't want to miss it now, opening all the balls up. I think if he misses the plant, I think he'll give Jack a great chance.
But in it goes. And once again, and we've been saying this for 25 years, the motto in snooker, never write off John Higgins. Doesn't matter what the season's been like, even how he's played today. When the chance comes in matches like this, he's still more than capable of taking them. This has been a terrific break and a terrific all-round performance. He has a chance to make his 3rd century. This is someone who's supposed to be struggling.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, Rob Spencer stitched him up there, hasn't he?
Thank you. 71. Yeah.
Well, he should have done enough, but he would still like to continue on and make the 3rd century. He's got the spider out. No fouls. That would give Lisowski some sort of hope.
Yeah, I don't think Jack will be coming back to the table, regardless.
Well, certainly not now. Yeah, very good way to end the day for Higgins. You know, this has been a terrific performance. He'll be on 2 points out of 4, so very much in the mix tomorrow when he comes back to play his last 2 matches. The black stays out, but a terrific break again. He's made breaks of 102.